Now we're going to look at a specific part of the quadratic formula called the discriminant, and we're going to talk about what it is and what it can do to help us determine the types of solutions we're going to have. So first, what is the discriminant? Well, here's the quadratic formula. The discriminant is this part that's under the radical. It is b squared minus 4ac, and it appears right there in the quadratic formula. Now, if you were to just calculate that part of the quadratic formula, the number you get would actually tell you something about the types of answers you're going to have. For example, what if b squared minus 4ac were actually a negative number? Well, up here, that means when you do the quadratic formula, you would actually be doing the square root of a negative number. Well, when you do the square root of a negative, that's not allowed. You actually get imaginary results when you do that. So that means if you calculate the discriminant, and the discriminant is less than 0, that means there won't be any real solutions, which means there's going to be two imaginary solutions. Well, another thing that could happen is that discriminant, we're going to jump down here, that discriminant could be positive. It could be greater than 0. Okay? So, if the discriminant is greater than 0, that means you're taking the square root of a positive number, which is just fine. That's going to give us a number. We're going to add that number to negative b, we're going to subtract that number from negative b, and we get two real solutions when we do that. No problem. But we could also get something in between there. If it's not greater than 0 or less than 0, that means it could be actually equal to 0. So what happens if b squared minus 4ac is 0? Well, that means we're doing the square root of 0. That's fine, we're allowed to do that, and the square root of 0 is 0. But then I get that one of my answers is negative b plus 0, and my other one is negative b minus 0. Well, and then over 2a. But those two numbers are actually exactly the same, because adding 0 doesn't do anything, and subtracting 0 also doesn't do anything. So I actually only get one answer when my discriminant is 0. Now that answer is real. It's also going to be a rational number, because it's just going to be a fraction. There's not going to be a square root in it anymore. And this is also called a double root. So, let's find the discriminant of this, and what does it tell us about the number of solutions and the types of solutions we're going to have. So, I just need to do b squared minus 4ac when I'm asked to find the discriminant. I don't do the entire quadratic formula. b squared, negative 2, squared, don't forget to put it in parentheses. When you square a negative, this actually becomes a positive. Minus 4a is 3 and c is 5. So when I square negative, I get positive, so that's positive 4 minus, well, 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 5 is 60, so I get 4 minus 60. Well, 4 minus 60 sounds like a pretty negative number to me. That's going to be negative 56. Since my discriminant is negative, if I go back to my chart here, that tells me b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Negative 56 is definitely less than 0. That means I'm going to have no real solutions. So the discriminant tells me there will be no real solutions. That also tells me there will be two imaginary solutions. So that's how we can use the discriminant to find out about the number and types of solutions to a quadratic.